Years ago, there was this YouTuber named Goemon7 who made two top lists that I really enjoyed as a kid. Top 10 goriest 2D bosses and top 10 most gluttonous video game characters. Peanut Butter Gamer really likes that one. Liked 15 years ago. Jesus Christ. And the video is 16 years old. I'm dying. In that list, he brought up the typical characters such as Kirby and Pac-Man, while mukbanging a whole damn turkey. But he also brought up one character from a game I was always curious about since. Penta, not to be confused with Penta Penguin from Crash Bandicoot, but rather Dream Penguin Adventure, or Yume Penguin Monogatari, a Japanese exclusive on NES from Konami. Only a few months ago, I managed to find an unofficial translated version on eBay, and not only was I finally able to play and beat this game, but now I'm able to talk about it without taking a YouTuber's opinion like the gospel like some of you heathens do. By the way, I went back to check out his channel again to see his last upload was 6 years ago, and now his channel is called Let's Gets. So yeah, just saying. You star Penta, an overweight penguin who loves to eat, who gets broken up by his girlfriend, Penko, for his eating habits and weight. She instead gets with Genji, a slimmer penguin with sunglasses and a pink top hat. But she gives him a deal. If Penta can lose weight within a certain time frame, she'll get back with him. Bitch, fuck you! You're gonna leave a guy just because he put on a bit of weight? That's pretty fucking shallow. Yeah, being overweight is unhealthy, but she clearly doesn't care about his health, she cares more about his appearance. Isn't it normal for couples to gain weight anyway? Yeah, it's called relationship weight gain, which is when some behavior of those in a relationship begin to mirror each other. This can include physical activities and eating habits. Some also attribute it to dates involving eating out or sitting on a couch watching a movie together. Others say it's because those in a happy relationship feel more comfortable around their partner. Appearances don't matter as much, so they gain what they call happy weight. So for all you know, he probably unknowingly gained weight because he felt comfortable around you. And this is how you treat him? Couldn't be me. Call me a Brazilian because I love BBWs. But it gets worse. At stage 4, Penko wants to meet you on a giant cake while you're trying to lose weight. That's just plain evil. Borderline torture even. Honestly, Penta should just take his losses and leave her. Genji seems more caring considering he offers Penta his weight loss drinks that his goons carry around. That's nice of Genji, giving Penta a chance to lose the weight, even though his goons are also trying to fatten Penta up so he doesn't make the goal in time. It makes sense why this game didn't come to the West, honestly. In Japan, there is a lot of effort to keep their people fit and healthy. They are serious about that sort of thing, too. If this game came out in America, it probably would have gotten flack as people would claim that it's promoting difficult beauty standards. It doesn't help how the game handles the topic of being overweight, associating it with one's worth, as the main character's girlfriend leaves him for being overweight and only wants to get back with him when he's a certain size. Even though it has good intents, that doesn't mean that everyone will see it as that. The game is a side-scrolling platformer where you must get to the end of the stage with the correct weight. This meter down below tells you where your weight goal is at. It doesn't matter if you make it to the end of the stage, because if you didn't lose enough weight, you'll have to start over anyway. Heck, it doesn't even matter if you're the correct weight either, because every stage is timed, and if you don't make it to the end of the level before time runs out, even if you're within the weight range, it still counts as a loss. Thank God this game is infinite continues. Being an NES game, your controls are simple: run, jump, and attack. What makes this game different from most is that your weight affects how you play. Being thin makes you faster, jump higher, and you have a projectile. Being medium-sized slows you down, lowers your jump, and your projectile gets replaced with this kick attack. And when you're in absolute chonkus mode...
Damn, boy! Damn, boy! He's thick! Boy! That's a thick-ass boy!
You're at your slowest and heaviest, and the only attack you have makes you stop in place and... I don't know, a gut spin attack, I guess? Maybe he's trying to crush his enemies under his weight? Dude, that's how I'm trying to die. Hey, don't act surprised, you know who I am at this point! By finding Genji's weight loss drinks, you become thinner, but everything else in the game makes you gain weight. Being fed by enemies, touching water, which makes you your biggest size regardless of the amount of weight you lost. Jesus Christ! It's like as you get older, your metabolism slows down. I'm nearly 30, so when I even just look at a picture of a burger, I feel like I gain weight. Don't grow up, kids. It's literally hell. Even in stage 4, if you even just touch the ground, you gain weight. This is like if a fetish artist was trying to find a new way to make expansion art, so they made a comic called The Floor is Fat, like the floor is lava. The game is unnecessarily frustrating, which is normal for most NES games, but this one doesn't feel like a fair challenge. It feels more like, you will die a million times, and you will like it. Suck it up, Cupcake. Some enemies have attacks that feel like you have no choice but to get hit, especially the pig boss. Honestly, the flying stages have to be the worst I've played. Every level is frustrating, but these take the cake, as you're bound to lose over and over and over again. It's not even NES hard anymore. It's just plain bullshit. And honestly, as I get older, I'm starting to wonder if NES hard even means anything at this point. It's one thing to being challenging, it's another to want near perfection from the player and expect them to know where everything is and how it's going to work. It doesn't help that the only reason these games were designed to be hard was because of how short they were, trying to compensate for the amount of content an NES cartridge can hold. But it's not just that, corporations can also play a part in it. The Lion King on Super Nintendo was designed to be frustratingly difficult intentionally, as the devs, Virgin Interactive, made a deal with Blockbuster so that kids couldn't beat the game within the normal rental window. This was done hoping that they would rent the game multiple times. These games weren't difficult because they were intended to be, they were difficult either because of limitations or corporations trying to get more money from us. Much like Nintendo is fashionably late, phrases like NES hard feel more like an excuse at this point. But I'm sure you're asking yourself, why don't you just use a password? In many games of the time, you can use a password to go back to where you left off or even skip to a later level. So why don't I? Because there are none. There is no way to continue the game from where you left off if you reset it. You were expected to beat it in one sitting, which would be fine as technically the game normally takes half an hour to beat, but that's assuming you've played the game enough to know where everything is and you just get plain lucky at points. So half an hour becomes a test of patience that could last all day. Say it with me, folks, there's no such thing as NES hard, it's just bullshit. But not everything about Dream Penguin Adventure was hair-tearing out hard. The bosses, minus the pig, are actually really easy once you understand their pattern, and the last level, which starts like this, damn you! Can be fun if you're already thin as you zip across the stage at lightning speed, and best of all, it didn't feel frustrating, it felt fair. Even the final boss was okay. It's just the main stages, especially the flying ones, that suck. After the final stage, you save Pinko, who, by the way, gets kidnapped near the end of the game by Genji. You two embrace one another. Look up into the stars, as Pinko becomes an oh lord she coming on the chonk scale as you look in disbelief. But hey, if Penta broke up with her now, he'd be the bad guy, right? She's even bigger than Penta was at the beginning of the game. Let's start our second lap. Oh god, it wants me to play the whole thing again! Oh, so does that mean there's a different ending? Oh yeah, it's so different that it's exactly the same, but they added the text, this is really the end. I couldn't agree more. But honestly, and this isn't me trying to make excuses for the game, I think I still had fun with it. I would argue that there's no such thing as NES hard, but there is a such thing as NES charm. From the simple stories, the music, the random enemies, it's a unique kind of charm you can't get anywhere else. As frustratingly hard these games can be, I still like them. It's like the 5th generation of games. Sure, games on platforms like the Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation 1 can be hard to get back to due to how they aged, but games like Crash Bandicoot, Super Smash Bros., and even Rugrats Search for Reptar have their own unique charm. Why do you think so many indie games try to recreate these vibes? From NES-inspired retro adventures like Shovel Knight to PS1-inspired horror games like Lost in Vivo. It's not just nostalgia, it's because these things have a unique personality, that no matter how badly they age, or even how flawed some were even at the time, we still can't help but to enjoy them. I love the 6th generation of games. PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and the Dreamcast. And while some of it is nostalgia, I would argue that it's more than just that, as I didn't grow up with the Xbox or the Dreamcast. It's because despite their jank or the plethora of licensed titles, they too have their own unique charm that others just can't match. I don't know if that makes any sense to people, but I just for the life of me can't hate this game. I probably won't play it often, and I mainly associate it with frustration and rage, but I also get a smile on my face thinking about it. I can't really explain it. So I'll just leave it at that. 'Tis a mystery. You figure it out, you dum-dum.